You are listening to Pocketful of Diamonds, Book 7 of the Nadia Wolf series, written by Nicolette Pierce. Copyright 2016. Audio copyright 2025 by Pierced Heart Publishing. Digitally narrated with full cast of voices.
Chapter 24. The damn puzzle piece floated like soggy cereal past Gwen's ankle, and she wanted to cry. It had been over a day, and Duvine was long gone with all of his jewels. She didn't even care about the stolen treasure anymore. She just wanted to get out of this wet prison. They had moved as far back as possible, gaining only a few precious inches. It was enough to keep them out of harm's way, but not for very much longer.
Gwen?
She turned to find her father looking at her as if he hadn't seen her in years. He actually said her name. She hadn't heard him say it for so long. Dad?
Where are we?
In Duvine's island house. Do you remember when he locked us in here?
No,
He shook his head.
I don't remember anything. When did you get here?
Gwen tried to think back. Since she'd been in this room with no outside light, it was hard to figure out. Other than the water level, time was irrelevant here. 3 days, I think.
Why didn't you come to see me?
I did. Both Ian and I came to see you several times. You were looking for a puzzle piece. We tried to help you, but we ended up here instead.
Ian?
Ian leaned forward so Bruce could see him as Gwen was a block between the two men.
I'm Ian Miller. It's nice to meet you. Sorry it couldn't be under better circumstances.
Bruce looked at her questioningly. He's my husband. We married not that long ago.
Was I there?
No, you were here. I'm sorry about that, but... She looked at Ian hopefully. I thought we'd have a bigger wedding when we get home.
Of course, when we get home.
There was that word again. Home. It had sat between them before, and now it reappeared. And it was the last thing they had to worry about. Right now they just had to stay alive. Still, it felt good to hear him agree with her. It would be nice to have a wedding where they'd actually share vows. And even if it was just a dream, she would hold on to it until the very end.
Do you remember much of this place?
Ian asked Bruce.
Not much.
You seem well today. I wonder what is making the difference.
Gwen wondered the same thing. Yes, you seem like the same man you were over a decade ago.
My head feels a bit foggy, like waking from a long dream.
Ian's eyes narrowed a bit.
Did they ever give you medication?
Bruce shrugged.
I can't remember.
You don't think... Gwen stopped to look her father in the eyes, inspecting his face. Is it possible?
Did you know Duvine before Gwen started working for him?
Bruce took a moment to ponder.
Yes, but I can't quite remember how. But I do know that I gave him Gwen's resume.
You did? He nodded.
You were looking for a job.
Gwen pressed her fingers to her lips. You don't think... Ian touched her arm gently.
Let's give Bruce time to allow any memories to return.
But what if he relapses? Gwen looked to Bruce. It was as if he were slowly breaking through the cobwebs of his mind. This was Duvine's doing. All of it. Somehow Duvine had orchestrated all of this.
I don't want to get your hopes up, but I have a feeling Bruce will make a full recovery.
But how? The doctor confirmed that he had dementia.
Who was the doctor? Could he have been paid off by Duvine?
Gwen's mouth parted in shock. It's possible. She turned to her dad. Why did you go to that doctor? He wasn't our normal family doctor.
Duvine said he was an expert in the field.
How did you know Duvine? Did you owe him money?
No, I stopped gambling. You know that.
But then you had started up again. You owed more money than I could have paid back in a lifetime. He frowned.
I never played that deep. I might have lost 1 or 2 cars, but never in the amount you are talking about. That night you made me promise to stop gambling, I did. I never sat down at a table again.
Then how do you know Duvine?
Give him a moment.
Gwen took a breath and nodded. It doesn't matter now anyway. We're stuck here, and Duvine is gone. He manipulated us all.
It makes me wonder about the minions.
What do you mean?
Let's say your dad has been drugged this whole time, which is looking like it might be the case. Then what about the minions? The only one that seemed lucid was the one dressed in black. The others were spaced out drones that followed orders, but not much else. What if they are drugged too?
It's possible?
How did he get 20 women who all looked the same?
Plastic surgery.
Bruce said. Then he blinked.
I saw him. I was working at an office, doing a side job. I opened the wrong door.
He shook his head as if he couldn't quite grasp the memory. Take your time, Dad.
The room. It was filled with beds. There were girls lying on them. Nurses were there, looking over them.
Did the girls look the same or were they different?
Similar, but not the same. Some had bandages over their faces.
Gwen hated the thought that was forming in her mind. She looked at Ian, who had a look of horror. Do you think he abducted the women, drugged them, and made them look identical?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Then the woman in black is in on it. She has always been the sole voice.
Duvine wouldn't be able to do all of this on his own. He'd need a trusted assistant who would make sure his work was carried out.
I think I'm going to be sick. Gwen leaned over, placing her forehead on her raised knees. He manipulated us all. He stole over 10 years of our lives. All of us. I wish I had been nicer to them.
They aren't in their right minds. Even while drugged, he must have used a form of brainwashing on them to keep them on task.
He needs to be stopped.
We'll stop him as soon as we get out of here.
Gwen helplessly tugged at the chain. We'll be here until someone finds us.
We still have time. The water level hasn't risen as fast as I expected it to. I'm sure we have another day before we have to worry.
She was already worried. But she'd be damned if she was going to die while Duvine continued to ruin lives. There had to be a way to stop him.
Unfortunately, the next day proved to be worse. The water level rose to their necks and continued. They were running out of time, and still no one had come. The building was quiet save for their own breathing. Ian wanted to reassure Gwen and Bruce that help would come, but he now thought it a lie. While he knew Grayson would keep his word and funnel messages, Sierra Leone was not known for its communication technology. The messages might have never been received, or maybe no one was willing to risk going to war with a Diamond King. It was hopeless. Gwen looked over at him with the same hopeless look in her eyes. The water drifted up to her chin.
Just remember I love you.
He leaned over and kissed her. How could I forget? I love you. A sound off in the distance warned them of a presence. It sounded like the dull thrum of an engine. Since the room was right off the ocean, he wondered if it was a boat docking at the pier. Was it a rescue party or someone else? Either way, he hoped they would hurry. Even if it was the enemy, surely they wouldn't leave them to die once they realized Duvine had everything. Nearly a half hour later, they were found by the rebels.
Ian Miller,
the leader said. His soft, melodic accent contradicted his full gear. Ian knew that voice well. The other rebels called him Cacal.
where are my diamonds?
Duvine has them. He took everything. Cacal waded into the water to grip Ian by the throat, cutting off air.
I owe you a debt.
With his free hand, he took out a knife and held it to Ian's throat, drawing blood.
Do you remember this?
Ian closed his eyes. He didn't have to see the knife to remember it. He had held it once. Just once.
Don't hurt him, please.
She should have known her words fell on deaf ears. Had it been anyone else, they might have been able to beg and plead for their lives. But not with this group, and definitely not with this leader.
You are next.
Cacall told Gwen, his smile revealing a row of rotten teeth. Ian couldn't struggle with his hands bound and a knife at his throat. His lungs burned, desperately needing oxygen.
Word is that you have another mine.
Cacall snarled, digging the knife in deeper.
Is that true?
Yes,
Where?
at the river's bend.
Cacall let go of Ian. He gasped for air before being pushed down into the water. Struggling to surface, Ian grappled with the hands that held him down. Just as he was about to black out, Cacall dragged him up. Cacall glared as Ian sputtered and gasped. He waved one of his men over.
Unlock them.
The man lowered his gun toward Ian's chains, but his aim was way off mark. Ian couldn't move away, and the bullet lodged in one thigh followed by the other. Ian bellowed a string of curses as his legs screamed, stinging from both the shredding bullets and salt water. The man fired another shot, and Ian's chains fell away, though he could do nothing but crumple in pain. The water surrounding him swirled red.
Ian!
Gwen cried, struggling with her restraints. Cacall gave the order to free Gwen next.
Better aim this time.
The man's shot was true, and Gwen was freed without injury. She struggled with her wet robe to scramble to Ian's side. Another shot was fired, and Bruce was free as well.
Ian, stay with me.
Gwen said. Ian tried to stay with her, wanted to, but the pain was too much. When she clamped down on his wounds to stop the blood, he passed out.